Hey everybody, it's Gina here from Gina Makes It. Today I am on the Graphic Fairies YouTube channel for Tag Team Friday. As I was trying to think about what type of tag I wanted to do for today's video, I was scouring the premium membership bundles, and I always have such indecision because I just love every image and I could see myself using every image in a specific way. But as soon as I came across the Lepidopterus bundle, I knew that I had to turn this terrarium into a tag, and that's exactly what I did. So every image that I use here actually came from that one single bundle, which is nice when you're looking for a quick project. You just print out a few images and you are well on your way. So I sized this terrarium to about 5.5 inches in height, and I think that came to about 4 inches in width. And you can see I am just trimming it out. I printed it out on some matte photo paper, and I'm just trimming around the edges, and I am not taking care to fussy cut around those like tall spindles, because that would just be like way too much work with my scissors, and I knew that it wouldn't really work with a tag. So I'm really just going across the edges to create like a basic tag shape using the edges of that terrarium. So this sheet of paper that I printed out underneath it is also from that same kit, and I printed that onto some linen paper, and it is part of the extras that you get within the kit, and I want to use that for the back of my tag. So I'm just taking the tag that I cut out and I'm gluing it onto the back side of that paper, and then I'm going to trim around the edges. I like to use the matte photo paper because it gives a really nice rich image after you're done printing. And so I also printed those butterflies that you see up to the left on that, and those came from the same kit. I sized them down very small because I knew that I wanted them to be used on top of the tag, and I fussy cut them the same way. So the reason that I printed the backside out onto linen paper was because I wanted that sort of cross hatch effect on the patterned paper. The matte photo paper is thick enough, it's sturdy enough, so I'll have a nice sturdy tag without having to double up with any sort of cardstock or anything like that. So I'm just going around the edges with my fussy cut scissors to try and get a nice clean edge. You can see there's a little bit of white sticking out, and so I'm just going back in to make sure that everything is trimmed up and you can't see any sort of overhang. So once I finish doing this, I am going to take some ink and I'm going to ink up the edges. I like to do this for a variety of reasons. The first reason is after you fussy cut something, sometimes there's like a white edge just based on the nature of paper, and so this kind of covers it up. I also like to do it because it provides depth to an image. So I'm going to go around the edges of these butterflies that I fussy cut, and all of these butterflies came from that kit like I said earlier. I'm going to ink up the edges for these because there's a little bit of white showing just based on the nature of paper like I said, and also it just provides a little bit more depth to the butterfly itself. So once I get done doing that, I'm going to actually cover up the existing butterflies that are on that image with these other butterflies, and I'm going to kind of bend them in half so it looks like they're kind of flying off of the tag, and it's going to add a little bit of dimension. Now I'm ready to figure out what butterflies I want where. So when I sized these down, I did make them different sizes because I knew that the variation of size was going to add interest to the tag. And I also printed out and cut out, well, I did 6, but I realized that I only wanted 5 because you're only supposed to do things in odds. That was a rule that I learned, a design rule, a long time ago, and I've stuck with it. And I really do feel like when you apply something in odds, it really does create a more balanced feel to whatever it is that you're doing. So you can see that I'm just covering up those existing butterflies with these fussy cut butterflies. I'm just putting glue right in the middle where I bent them so it looks like they're flying. And like I said, I'm covering up all the existing butterflies except for the one at the top. I added that one at the top because I just thought it would be nice to have a little tiny butterfly just kind of floating at the top of the image. At this point, I decided I needed something to soften the image, and so I had this little scrap of vintage lace, and I really liked the color. There's like a soft coral that runs along the bottom of the lace, and I just really liked the way it looked at the bottom. I felt like it gave it dimension. I felt like it softened it up, and adding additional textiles to things also adds interest, and it just creates a more balanced piece. So once I glued that on, I decided to add a hole at the top. So I just eyeballed where the middle was. I used my hole punch to create a hole, and I was going to add a topper with some sari silk, and I decided to tie the bow on the back side instead of the front side because I didn't want to cover up those lovely little butterflies that I just added. I plan on using the back side of this tag, so the bow will function on both sides. So it'll hang over on the back, but you'll also be able to see it from the front like that without covering those beautiful little butterflies. I hope you enjoyed this tag video. I loved making it, and I hope you make one too. I'll see you next time.